We're here with Michael Hawkins, the Democratic candidate for Calvert County Sheriff. Michael is a retired lieutenant with the Maryland State Police. Served in a variety of positions with the State Police at different barracks, the Commercial Enforcement Division, the Vehicle Enforcement Division, and has worked as a Barrack Commander and as a PIO at various locations. Michael, how do you identify the main issues in this race for Calvert County Sheriff?
Well, first of all, go around talking to people. People are very open to explain what they want out of this county, what they expect out of Calvert County, and what they think needs to be brought to Calvert County. Most of the people I talk to want to see a change in the sheriff leadership. They want to see deputies better deployed. They want to see more visibility, and they want to make the deputies approachable to what they might want and need in their communities. I've heard often, well too often, that I don't ever see a deputy on the back road or a deputy in the community like they should be.
We're here with Michael Hawkins. Would you please tell the readers of the Chesapeake Today and the viewers of this video what you think about the current incumbent sheriff having already served for 16 years in that position?
Over that last 16 years, several major police departments have made changes in who's at the top. It's just like your rotation you have for mayors and governors. People have to come in and change from the top. And due to the fact there's no term limits in the job, you have to elect somebody to basically come back in and revamp the sheriff department. And I'm pushing for that elected person to be me.
Michael Hawkins, Democratic candidate for Calvert County Sheriff, would you please identify the key issues in terms of school safety, the opioid epidemic? What do you plan on doing to address these two particular issues?
Well, the school safety issue is a major issue, and of course I want to get deputies fully trained to cover at least all of our high schools and middle schools in this county. I'd like to have a trained deputy, not the safety advocates they already have. We want to have trained deputies in each of those schools that will be there to assist them. Also want to meet with the school board members to also get their ideas or input on what they think will help make our educational system safer for our kids here in Calvert County. As for the opioid epidemic, first of all, I'm going to try to create a task force with the Maryland State Police, Charles County Sheriff, Anne Arundel County, and Prince George's and St. Mary's County Sheriff Departments, because the opiates are being brought into this county. We've got to be able to nip this thing early, catch them at the county line, catch them on the roadway, do some investigating procedures to try to get these opioids out of our county.
Michael Hawkins, Democratic candidate for Calvert County Sheriff. What will you do to try to rein in the small-time crime that plagues the neighborhoods like the Ranch Estates and North Beach and White Sands? What will you do to stop the burglaries and theft from vehicles and those kind of crimes that lead to other things?
Well, those kind of crimes, as you mentioned, that lead to other things, I want to have the deputies put more emphasis on being back in the neighborhoods, being highly visible. And if they do come up to arrest or come up to accost somebody, I just want them to do it by the books. You know, no strip searches at roadside like I've heard, no abuse of people's rights like I've been told. I want them to be able to identify what they saw, what they heard, and what they're doing to arrest a person, or at least take field notes. Taking field notes is such a good thing when you're out here dealing with the public, to know who was in this neighborhood last, what are you doing back here, do you have a reason for being in certain areas? And if you don't, we need to address it.
The Democratic candidate for Sheriff of Calvert County is Michael Hawkins. Michael, would you please tell the readers of the Chesapeake Today and the viewers of this video your views on traffic enforcement currently the way it is, and how you will change it, if at all, once you're elected sheriff?
Traffic enforcement, for one, is very difficult. There's a lot of cars in Calvert County. There's more cars on the highway than we can actually hold sometime. But traffic enforcement should be an educational experience for the violator. We need to explain to them what they did right and what they did wrong. I see a lot of people on their cell phones still. A lot of people still aren't seatbelted, which I think is the wildest thing you're going to see. Everybody should be seatbelted. People are in so much of a hurry, especially when you get out here on Route 4. I can get in the slow lane and do 55 miles per hour if I can, because everybody to the left of me is just flying by me like they got someplace they have to be yesterday. It's just too many cars going way too fast. So when people are stopping, to be educated on the traffic laws and what they've done wrong and make corrective action. I have no problem of giving a person a warning after you fully explain what they did wrong. Now, egregious traffic mishaps, drunk driving, traveling 30 and 40 miles over the speed limit, you deserve a citation for that, absolutely. But some of these other things that you see people are doing, like failure to signal in a safe manner all the time, I see that more than I see almost anything else. People who don't want to put on a right or left turn signal, they just put on their brakes and make a turn. That person needs to be educated on the safety fact of having their turn signals on, just so they don't get hit or cause anybody else to get hit and injured.
Retired State Police Lieutenant Michael Hawkins has had a lot of experience in the Southern Maryland area and has lived in Calvert County most all of his life. Michael, elected sheriff, what can you tell people that you think that you will do as sheriff to make them feel comfortable and safe in their homes, put down the incidents of violent crime, go after the drug crime that ravages the community, and make them feel like this is the area where they need to live and raise their families more than ever, even though the people are probably pretty happy right now? What will you do to enhance that?
Well, first of all, I know I have the training, the education, and experience to lead this sheriff department in Calvert County. If I can lead the state police barracks, I can lead the sheriff department. I'm the kind of person that's going to listen to the community's concern. I'm going to be holding some forums that comes up now before the election. I want to hear what the people are most concerned about and address it. They won't have me giving favoritism to certain ventures in this county or certain people in this county. We're going to treat everybody as an equal to make sure their problems are addressed and make Calvert County as safe as we can keep it.
We're with Michael Hawkins, Democratic candidate for Sheriff of Calvert County. Being Sheriff for the Calvert County Sheriff's Department is a top-level executive position. Michael, would you explain what your experience is and how it prepares you for that job?
Well, simply, I spent 20 years as a Maryland State Trooper rising through the ranks. I commanded the Plato Barrack in Charles County. I was the First Sergeant at the Prince Frederick Barrack. I was the Assistant Commander. I was a Sergeant and First Sergeant in the Forestville area. I went to Pikesville and took over human resources, recruiting and retention. I also worked in staff inspection where we reviewed other police departments to make sure they were following the rules. I had the opportunity to graduate and complete the Johns Hopkins Police Executive Program with a master's degree in business management. I've also had Northwestern supervisory training through Northwestern University out of Chicago, Illinois. So I've had an abundance of training and experience in hands-on leading people and dealing with issues that come within the citizens. My last job as an operations commander for the Commercial Vehicle Enforcement Division, my job was to not only supervise all the scale houses in the state, but to address each community issue as they came up, whether it be in Salisbury or whether it be in Hagerstown or farther west. My job as the operations person was to deal with those either county councils, county commissioners, even the highest office in the city sometimes. The mayor would have a problem with oversized vehicles. My job was to address it with either my troopers or my supervisors. So that's how I spent my last few years, basically putting out the little fires across the state when it comes to commercial vehicles.
And how will that prepare you, with that wide experience, prepare you directly to be Sheriff of Calvert County?
Because I know how to address issues. I know how to address people's issues. I'm the kind of person that when you call, I respond. I don't send a first sergeant. I don't send a sergeant. I will respond myself to make sure that your needs are properly met. I may let that first sergeant or let that sergeant oversee the ending of it, but I'll make sure it gets started the proper way and give instruction. That's one thing about people. We don't teach. We just think you automatically know how to do it. You need to teach the people how to address the public's needs, and I do know how to teach people.
Are you looking for people to help you in your campaign?
Always looking for help in the campaign, because campaigns aren't easy. I'm a neophyte politician. I've never run for office, for statewide or local office. The best I've run for was to be what we call employee group president, which I was. Spent several years being in employee groups and addressing the issues of, especially the minority troopers of the Maryland State Police. Spent a lot of time in Annapolis dealing with issues when it comes to pay, when it comes to benefits, proper promotions, and then I ended up being the vice president of the State Law Enforcement Alliance, which I stayed for a while until I got promoted out of the rank and couldn't belong anymore.
How can people contact you in order to volunteer in your campaign?
It's very, very easy. You can contact me through my email. It's mahawkins1001@hotmail. They can call me directly at 301-440-0936. and they can contact me. I answer all phone calls. I will meet you. I will come to you. You can come to me. We can talk about what you can help bring to the campaign and what you can help with, period. All the Democrats could use some help across this area. We support each other. We bring up each other as much as we can when we're knocking on doors. All of us could use the help. We want the young folks especially to be involved. Those who are going to be the first-time voters. I have a niece. She can't wait. She's a first-time voter this year. She's going to vote for Uncle Mike. She's already walking around telling everybody she's going to vote for her Uncle Mike. But that's how it starts, getting the young people involved, especially in this county. We have a lot. Matt Bennett, of course, he won his primary. He's 20 years old, and he's getting a lot of young people support. We all get that kind of support across the board.
What about older people? Are you able to help get them to the polls?
We'll do our best. I've already talked. In fact, I was speaking this weekend. I'm thinking about trying to get the money together from the other Democrats to have some buses running. There's 23 precincts in Calvert County. If we can get a bus to cover 4 or 5 precincts, all through early voting and all through the final election, we can get people to the polls. And after I voted, I'll try to run people to the polls if I can.
Okay. One last question.
Yes, sir.
If elected sheriff, how will you put your stamp on the sheriff's department and make it very different from the way it is today?
Well, my first stamp is going to be unfortunate, but I'm going to try and incorporate more people that look like me in our Calvert County Sheriff's Department. They just hired 10 more people. Only one of them is a protected class minority, which is a black male. But I walk around that sheriff's department and walk around this county. I don't see anybody that looks like me, and the citizens have told me they want to see more people that look like me in office. Our kids need to see it. You know, the older people have been more than receptive when they know that I'm running for sheriff. But they need to see more deputies who more diverse in this county. Just like you'll see in Prince George's County when it comes to law enforcement in Charles County, Calvert County is the exact same thing. Qualified people who know how to get the job done, who look like the community they serve.
So it's a matter of opportunity.
Yes, and I'm providing that opportunity. As long as the commissioners make sure I have the proper budget, then I'm going to make sure I recruit. One thing, I ran the recruiting retention for the state police because that was one of my big issues. So Colonel Hutchins moved me up to Pikesville, put me in personnel recruiting and retention, and it worked.
Okay, thank you.